Corporate social responsibility examines how businesses balance profit with their broader responsibilities to society. In this presentation, I'll trace the evolution of CSR from its early origins to its increasingly important role in modern business. We'll consider how companies integrate social purpose alongside economic and legal objectives, and why those responsibilities matter within changing business environments. The central idea is that business success is not measured by financial performance alone, but also by the impact a company has on people and communities. This lecture follows 5 steps to build a practical understanding of corporate social responsibility. We'll begin with the origins of CSR, looking at when and why the concept emerged in business history. Next, we'll define CSR and examine its key dimensions. Then, we'll explore the triple bottom line, which balances social, economic, and legal objectives. We'll also consider how companies embed CSR in their mission and purpose. Finally, we'll connect these ideas to practice through real-world examples and strategic integration. The goal is to understand CSR as both a concept and a business approach. This chapter begins with a foundational question: where did corporate social responsibility come from? The formal concept emerged in 1953 through economist Howard Bowen's landmark book, Social Responsibilities of the Businessman. Bowen's central argument was that business leaders have responsibilities beyond generating profits. Their decisions should also reflect society's values and consider the communities where they operate. In that sense, his work was the first systematic effort to define what businesses owe to the broader public, not just the shareholders. Corporate social responsibility has evolved through a series of important debates and turning points. In the 1950s, Bowen framed it as an ethical obligation for business leaders. By the 1970s, Milton Friedman challenged that idea, arguing that business should focus primarily on business itself. In the 1980s and 90s, stakeholder theory and environmental disasters expanded public pressure. By the 2000s, CSR had become mainstream, shaped by ESG frameworks, the UN Sustainable Development Goals, and B Corp. Its history reflects changing expectations and growing stakeholder influence. Corporate social responsibility, or CSR, is more than meeting legal requirements. It's a business framework in which companies voluntarily consider social, environmental, and ethical responsibilities in both their operations and their relationships with stakeholders. The key idea is that businesses do not operate in a vacuum. They rely on communities, healthy ecosystems, and public trust to succeed. In return, responsible companies recognize that interdependence and make decisions that account for their broader impact, not just immediate financial results. CSR connects business performance with accountability to the world around it. Corporate social responsibility can be understood through 4 connected dimensions. Economic responsibility comes first. An organization must remain profitable and sustainable. Legal responsibility means meeting the laws and regulations society establishes. Ethical responsibility goes further, asking companies to do what is right even when the law does not require it. Finally, philanthropic responsibility involves voluntarily giving back to communities and supporting the common good. Archie Carroll's 1991 pyramid shows that these layers build on one another with economic viability as a foundation, but complete CSR reaching all 4 levels. The triple bottom line, coined by John Elkington in 1994, broadened the way we define business success. Instead of measuring performance through profit alone, it adds 2 equally important dimensions: people and planet. People means fair labor practices, community well-being, and social equity. Planet focuses on environmental stewardship and responsible resource use. Profit remains essential, but has long-term economic health and viability. Together, these 3 dimensions give companies a practical blueprint for aligning social objectives with sustainable economic performance. This chapter focuses on mission and purpose, and how they guide purpose-driven companies. A mission statement does more than describe what a company hopes to achieve financially. It signals how the organization balances economic ambition with social and legal responsibility. When corporate social responsibility is built into the mission from the beginning, It becomes part of everyday decision-making, influencing who the company hires, how it designs products, and how it manages its supply chain. That makes responsibility an operating principle, not an afterthought. This chapter examines how organizations integrate social and economic objectives, rather than treating them as separate priorities. Mission becomes meaningful when it shapes everyday business decisions. Patagonia connects its purpose to environmental giving and product repairability. Ben & Jerry's brings social justice, fair trade sourcing, and climate action into both its operations and brand. Unilever takes a measurement-driven approach, linking revenue growth with reductions in environmental impact and improvements in social well-being. Together, these examples show how purpose can influence products, sourcing, advocacy, and performance targets across the business. This slide shows how legal, social, and economic objectives work together in CSR practice. Legal compliance is a foundation. It sets a minimum standard for ethical behavior and risk control. Economic performance gives a company the resilience and resources to continue creating value. Social impact extends that value to communities and stakeholders, building trust, loyalty, and long-term brand equity. These dimensions are not competing priorities. When they reinforce one another, companies can pursue purpose while strengthening sustainable performance. The slide also highlights research linking purpose-driven leadership with stronger long-term financial outcomes. The key takeaways are fourfold. CSR extends business responsibility beyond profit, beginning with Bowen's 1953 definition. Carroll's pyramid adds economic, legal, ethical, and philanthropic layers. The triple bottom line links people, planet, and profit. Finally, Mission turns these principles into strategy rather than leaving them as marketing.